What's up, everyone? So if you're clicking on this video, you're probably thinking about joining the military, or maybe you're just curious about the whole process, which is cool also. But I really wanted to make this video about what to expect at MEPS because I was super nervous personally when I was going to MEPS, and there really wasn't a lot of good info about what the entire process is like. So hopefully I can share some info with y'all, maybe make you less nervous, or just give you some clarity on the whole process. So without further ado, let's get into it. So on the day before you actually go to MEPS, what you're going to do is your recruiter will tell you to go to a hotel somewhere. Some recruiters meet up with their applicants before they go or drive them to the hotel personally. My recruiter just told me the address of the hotel, and I went there by myself because he was busy or something. I don't know. I'd recommend eating before you go, although if you get there early enough, I can't remember exactly when they told us to get there, but it was like probably 5 or 6 p.m. But they will let you go out to like local restaurants and stuff, walk around. But you do have to be back and like you can't leave past a certain time. I think for us that was like 8 p.m. So I would just recommend eating before you go, just in case they don't let you, because at the end of the day, it's up to the person running the show down there. And I mean, get used to it in the military. Whatever your higher up says, that's what you do. So it's an early wake up the next day. You can talk to the other applicants. You can chill on your phone. I think they give you your own room now. I don't know if that's how it used to be, but I had my own hotel room. It wasn't like it was pretty nice actually. It's not anything crazy, but you're not gonna be staying in like a roach motel or anything. But yeah, super early wake up. I think it's like 04 or 05. I think it was like 04:30 for us. But they'll feed you breakfast in the morning, and then you'll get on the bus or drive. I personally drove and I lived nearby. So they will let you drive your own personal vehicle if you're leaving right after MEPS. But if you're doing like a direct ship, I don't think they let you do that. So you'll get on the bus and you'll go over to MEPS. Usually the hotel's somewhere nearby. Ours was like 20 minutes away. But they'll have you line up outside the building and you'll wait until MEPS opens up. And you'll walk through like do a security check like you're going to the airport. This goes without saying, but I know a lot of people, especially like more country guys, forget this. Like, take your knife off your keychain and do not bring it to MEPS because it's a government building. You can't bring any weapons or any like dumb stuff inside. So just leave it all at your house before you leave. But you'll do a security check. Almost as soon as you get there, they're gonna make you put away your phone. So make sure like send all your texts and stuff before you actually go in. And this is gonna be your first experience with MEPS civilians. Most of them are pretty chill, at least at my location, but some of them, some of the civilians at MEPS are worse than drill sergeants, I'm not gonna lie. Just yelling at you, being rude for no reason. It's like, you're not even in the military. Like, why are you doing all this extra stuff? After you get your first dose of that, they'll file you into wherever you're doing your physical, and this is gonna be like what reception is like also. You're just gonna sit around and do paperwork and wait in line for most of the day. It's super boring, it sucks, but it is what it is. But once you get into like the medical area, you're just gonna sit there and wait. It sucks. You'll end up running through a bunch of different stations. I don't know if there's a set order to them or whatever, but you're gonna do a physical, just blood pressure, height, weight, all that stuff. You're gonna get your blood drawn. It's super quick. They don't take a lot. They're only checking for HIV in that. They're going to do a drug test on you, and then a hearing and a vision station. It's nothing crazy. Like, you shouldn't really have any problems with this stage. But after this, you're going to go into a classroom. You're going to do a bunch of more paperwork. Sit there for an hour or so, probably. And then after this, this, in my opinion, is the worst part of MEPS, is the Genesis screening. You'll go on in like one-on-one with a doctor, and thank God, my doctor was super cool, super understanding. Like, I can't imagine if like my doctor was bad for this part. But they're going to go through your entire medical history. I don't know how the Genesis system works, but it gets your entire medical history from like when you were a little kid. Like, and they will ask you questions about everything. And they were bringing up stuff during mine. It's like, oh, what, you had this prescription back then. Do you know what this is for? I'm like, dude, I don't even remember this. Like, so you're not going to remember some of it. Like, stuff that happened when I was like 8 or 9. I'm like, I don't remember like what kind of antibiotic I was on for some random ear infection. But this is the part where you can get flagged and require waivers. So listen to your recruiter on this. If you have a good recruiter, they'll coach you up. I'm not going to say lie to them, but, you know, if they don't bring something up and it happened, don't say anything about it. Like, just use your head. But after Genesis is over, they're going to take you through, you're going to do the duck walk. I'm sure you guys have heard of that if you've looked up, you know, joining the military. They're going to do the, you know, they're going to make you spread your ass and, you know, check to make sure your intestines aren't falling out of there. But after that, it's just more random, like, stretches and exercises. It's nothing hard. It's just to make sure that, like, you are actually, like, fully physically capable of going to boot camp. Just basically checking to make sure you're not disabled. After that is when they had a lot of people go take the ASVAB. Although I went in on a Saturday, and there were only, like, 8 of us. So everything was flying by super quick. I've heard from some other people that they did the ASVAB on, like, the first day they went to MEPS. And second day of MEPS was when they did the physical and all that stuff. Personally, I did the ASVAB, like, I think 4 or 5 days beforehand. So I just drove in. I asked my recruiter, can I take the ASVAB separate? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I drove down to MEPS, which is only like 30 minutes from my house. And I took it ahead of time. I would strongly recommend doing this because if you're running on low sleep and you've already been sitting around since like 5 a.m., that's like really not the best test taking environment. And the ASVAB, you know, it's going to determine what jobs you're, you know, what jobs are available to you. So do good on it, you know, just be smart, take it seriously. Please study for it. It's not something you can just wing and do well on. I thought personally it was harder than the SAT. I studied a lot for it. I think I studied like 3 weeks beforehand. And I used the ASVAB for Dummies guide. I would highly recommend that. I ended up getting a 99 after studying. You know, humble brag, not really. But after you take the ASVAB, or if you don't have to take the ASVAB, this will come after Genesis, you're going to go sign your contract. So they're going to send you over to a different wing of MEPS, and you're going to wait on your branch liaison. For me, it was Army National Guard, but all the service branches are over there. You have like an Air National Guard, Air Force, Marine Corps, Navy, whatever. So you'll walk into the office and you'll sit down with a sergeant or someone, and they're going to go through all your stuff and generate your contract. Now make sure everything your recruiter said you'd get is in your contract, because once you sign it, if your recruiter said you're going option 40, like RASP and Airborne School, and it's not in your contract, guess what? You're not going to RASP or Airborne School. If there's a bonus that you, like, your recruiter said you'd get, and it's not in the contract, you're not getting the bonus. So make sure your contract is right before you sign it. Don't feel pressured to sign it just because some NCO is, you know, aggravated and just wants you to sign so that you can get to the next person. Don't be afraid to say no. Like, if something your recruiter promised you is not in the contract, don't sign it and call your recruiter. Say, like, I'm supposed to get this, you know, I need to talk to my recruiter. And up until you sign the contract, you can just walk away. Like, if you have a change of heart, don't want to be there anymore, it's like, oh, I don't want to join the military, you can just walk away. Although, I would recommend not doing that. I think the military was a great experience, great opportunity. But yeah, once you sign that paper, you know, you're owned by Uncle Sam. So right after that, at least for officers, I had to go get my security clearance. They called some, I think it was an FBI person. They just ask you a bunch of questions. I sounded like an idiot on the phone because I had like 2 hours of sleep. Yeah, after that, you're going to go get your fingerprints done, some more paperwork in a different wing of MEPS. And then after that's all taken care of, that's your swearing-in ceremony. You take your oath of enlistment. I think family, friends are allowed to be there, but for whatever reason at my MEPS station, they wouldn't let families in. So that would kind of suck if I was going active duty and, like, you know, direct ship. But, I mean, I got to go home afterwards, so it wasn't a big deal. But if your family and your friends aren't there, make sure to get like an NCO or a worker to record it, take pictures. I mean, if you're not sentimental, whatever, like whatever, I would recommend getting pictures. It's something kind of cool. I'd rather have pictures of it than not. But yeah, that was my MEPS experience after the swearing in ceremony. If you're direct ship, they'll give you instructions on what's going to happen next. You'll probably ship out to basic in a few days. If you're not direct ship, split ops, I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, you'll just go home and go about the rest of your day. So thanks for tuning in, guys. If you have any questions, leave them down in the comments section. I'll try and get to them. I probably will be able to. Yeah, thanks for tuning in.